Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Super quick video today because there's some fantastic news coming out of Harvest. 7 new Harvest high income shares ETF. I have to say, I'm not surprised for a bunch of these. So let's see what they're cooking up here. Let's see what are the next ones. First of all, finally, it's been confirmed 100%. We are going to get a leverage version of Misty. So we're finally going to have it, guys. MicroStrategy with covered calls and 25% leverage. My favorite style of format, if you will. And same thing goes for Coinbase as well. So obviously, one question I think you'll probably ask is, what about HHIS, the all-in-one? So HHIS, which by the way is doing absolutely phenomenal. It's already at 56 million AUM, which is absolutely incredible. We know that it's basically an all-in-one that holds all of these, or at least like Michael Kovacs confirmed, is going to hold the highest yielding these, maybe up to 15. So right now there hasn't been 15. Even with these ones, I think we're at 14. And I'm 99.9% certain, let's just call it 100, that when the leverage MicroStrategy and Coinbase ones are going to come out, they're going to replace the non-leverage ones in HHIS. So HHIS is really going to be designed for the highest possible yield. Yes, diversification, but it's only going to have the leverage one. So if the leverage one comes out, obviously MicroStrategy and Coinbase, they should swap those out for the leverage one, which is great news, which is what I want, which might even mean a distribution increase for HHIS. Also, it's possible, right? A little distribution increase. So besides those two, the leverage Coinbase and MicroStrategy, they're gonna launch Google, which obviously needs no introduction. AMD, an AMD one, which is competitor to Nvidia. Broadcom as well, another chip and infrastructure. They have a bunch of stuff. I believe they're not just chips, but network equipment. So Broadcom as well is gonna be added. Costco. So this was quite surprising. Costco. Netflix, this is not surprising. I really wanted Netflix in there. This really adds a little bit of diversification because, there's a lot of technology companies. I don't really consider, I guess you could consider Netflix a technology company, but I see it more as media, and it's doing really, really well. And it just makes me feel good while I see my Netflix bill going through every month on my credit card that I own a big piece of Netflix. Of course, these are all really in the NASDAQ. And again, I just want to accentuate that these are all big cap companies. So I'm looking at the NASDAQ 100 index here. And by the way, it's just QYLD. I don't know why when I want to see what's inside the NASDAQ 100, I typically go to QYLD because you could see the whole thing and it's just aesthetically pleasing. And by the way, before we continue, I'd like to thank the sponsor of the video, You're the sponsor. Thank you so much for your support. Hit that thumbs up button and maybe even subscribe if you're feeling generous, because we're on our way to 100,000. Very, very exciting, guys. So hit that subscribe button, that like button, please. And if you're feeling even more generous, consider becoming a PII Inner Circle member. Click on that little join button next to the subscribe button to see what it's all about. So let's move on. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys. This is a NASDAQ 100. As we know, it's 100 non-financial, top 100 non-financial companies listed on the NASDAQ, market cap weighted. So obviously the bigger the company is, like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, the bigger percentages will be. And you'll see how Broadcom is really up there, right? It's 4.35%. It's right under Amazon. And it's even on top of Meta. You see Alphabet. Alphabet's always a bit tricky, or Google, because there's always two stock symbols. So together they make up about 6%. So Google should really be like here. But anyway, Google is coming. Even Netflix, check it out. Netflix, Costco. These are top 10, top 15, or top 12, whatever companies of the NASDAQ. So they're really, really big cap, which is fantastic. And you see that AMD is really not far behind here, just near Palantir. And even MicroStrategy is in here, by the way. MicroStrategy is now in the NASDAQ 100. I believe it's more in the middle. Here it is at 0.5. So just wanted to show you that. Another thing I want to show you, everyone. Oh yeah, well, let's just continue down the list. Did I cover all of them? So Google AMD, which is another kind of chip maker, NVIDIA's competition. I remember when I was a teenager and we were into computer video games, it was always AMD versus NVIDIA for the video. Which video card are you getting? So it's cool that AMD is here as well. So AMD is there. Broadcom, which again is another network equipment chip maker. Coinbase, we covered it. Costco. So Costco is obviously Costco. I think everyone knows what it is. We even have that here in Panama under a different name. Is it associated with Costco? I think it is PriceSmart or something. But anyway, it's the same thing. And of course, Netflix. I think we all know what that is. So I think these are great selections. The one I really wanted personally was Google. So that one's there. Netflix I thought of as well. Costco, apparently, Michael Kovacs told me got some demand for it. Obviously, I'm very happy that the leverage version of MicroStrategy and Coinbase have been approved. I was a little bit worried about that, but this is great news. And why not more chip makers, right? AMD and Broadcom. We're obviously going to be very important for the future. We're going to need it. So yeah, that's what I want to show you. So this is great news. I expect most likely all of them are going to be added to HHIS. I don't know about the Costco one because that has fairly low volatility. I would personally, and if Harvest is listening, I would like for it to be added until you get to 15. And then, if there's 16, 17, 18, and then those stocks that you add are maybe higher volatility, then I would kick the lower volatility ones out. But I do personally, as a big investor in HHIS, do like that diversification. And I wouldn't mind Costco staying in. Yes, I understand it's lower volatility, you get lower income, but it adds quite a nice balance off of all this tech exposure. But I'm not complaining, I really like tech as well. And what kind of yields do you expect? Remember, guys, these yields, these distributions are really only going to be based on one thing, the volatility of the stock, right? This is all premiums, right? Covered call premiums, everyone. So I want to direct your attention to this site, which I think is pretty cool. It's called Market Chameleon, where you're actually able to see the 30-day or the volatility, the implied volatility of a stock. So for example, if we look at NVIDIA, right now the implied volatility is 68. If we compare that to Meta, the volatility is less, right? It's 29 here. If we look at Netflix, 25. So Netflix has been having some fairly low volatility. But if we look at some very volatile stocks like Coinbase, you see it's much higher at 75. If we look at, what about Meta? Meta 29, not bad. Apple, obviously something like Apple is going to be a lot lower at 22. We got Costco here at 24, not so bad. But of course, nothing could really compete in terms of volatility with Coinbase and MicroStrategy, which is by far the highest one at 87. So obviously you see the trend, right? That's why the Misty one has the highest distribution. And I'm assuming when the leverage one comes out, it's probably going to be approximately 25% higher, right? It's all based on volatility, which changes month to month, everyone. AMD. 55, a lot more volatile than I would think. I guess, it's a chip maker. There's still some volatility in there, right? Google, 37, and then you have Broadcom at 52, a lot more volatile than I would thought. So I think that these are going to be very high yield. Obviously, we can't predict the yield it's going to come out, or the first distribution is going to be announced. And I've been seeing some questions a lot about distributions, and if the market tanks, are these going to be reduced? Guys, remember that these distributions for all of these, even HHIS, is really based on the volatility of the funds. And I really trust Harvest to increase or decrease as they see fit. And it's not going to mean that it's a problem with the fund. It just means they're taking in more covered call premium, or they're taking in less covered call premium. So you could always use this site to kind of gauge the volatility of these stocks. But remember, these are not dividend stocks, okay? Like dividend stocks like Algonquin and TELUS, when they cut their dividend, or Bell, if they cut their dividend, that means this is the profit. The dividend is a profit of their company, which if they're cutting it, it's typically the business is not going that well. If these ones cut it, this has nothing to do with the actual business. It has to do with the volatility or the premium they're taking in. So I hope you guys are making that distinction. Obviously you guys are, because you're a very, very smart audience. So yeah, I just wanted to show quick video of these coming out. I'm assuming they're going to be out within a month or two. Typically when the prospectus comes out, they're there shortly after. So it could be at the end of this month, it could be in a month or two. So I would expect that they would be coming out fairly certain. So yeah, some good news coming out of Harvest. Thanks for watching, everyone. Just wanted to make you aware and maybe give you some show you that Market Chameleon site. I don't know if I've ever showed it to you, but this is where I go to kind of see where the volatility, the implied volatility. And you know, don't ask me exactly what this number means. All I know is that the higher it is, the higher volatility it is. And I think this number would mean if you're selling an at the money covered call for 30 days, it would be 87% yield annually. I think that's more or less what it means. And obviously Netflix 25%, Nvidia 68%. So these are, remember, these are US big caps, big options market. They're pretty hot stocks as well. Some more hotter than others. Some maybe are more subdued, and then next month they're hotter. But these are very actively traded, big options market, which is absolutely fantastic to do covered calls on. And you see HHIS, you know, Palantir went up significantly today. I'm filming this on the February on the 4th, by the way. So obviously HHIS. If you don't want to pick and choose, everyone, your own stocks, if you don't, you know, you're not sure about each individual one, well, HHIS is a good way to obviously lower your volatility, lower your risk, because it's more diversified, but you're still getting exposure to, you know, 10 to 15, maybe 15 stocks here. So it's going to have a little bit more volatility than, for example, the NASDAQ 100, but you're getting rewarded with that with more yield. So hope this video was enjoyable. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time.